So one of the things we want to talk about, and one of the reasons for this podcast, is helping people get on the water and helping people on the water. A lot of people that come and buy boats from us and all the other dealerships in town are first-time boat buyers. They've moved to the area, they've migrated to the area, and they've decided it's time for them to own a boat. Now the question is, what kind of boat? I really work hard, and I really want to get people to understand that buying the right boat the first time is paramount. We've all heard the saying, 2 best days of a boat owner's life. I hate that saying because I think it comes from back in the stern drive days and people that had problems with boats. A lot of those problems are gone. Now what happens is a lot of people come in, they hopped on the internet real fast, and they decided they want, for example, a bow rider. And that's great. If that's the kind of boat you're after, go get yourself one. But what happens is, and I'm just using this as an example, they go out, they buy the bow rider, and dad or maybe the kids, they get into fishing, and that boat doesn't fish good. And now they've bought this brand new boat, and it doesn't fit the need that the family has. So then it becomes, when I got to trade this boat in or I got to sell it, oh man, we lost a bunch of money. So we really, really, really harp on, and one of the things we try and do differently is sitting down with the customer and talking to them about what it is they want the boat to do first. Let's really have conversations of where you see yourself boating, when you see yourself boating. Personally, I like going to the sandbar. We can go to Sebastian. We can go to Bird Island. We can go to the 528 sandbar. We can go out and see Kirk up there at the Tiki Dog boat and get ourselves a hot dog and a hamburger and a freaking soft serve cone. I like boating. I like cruising. I like going up to the sandbar with some light fishing. Some people never want to put a fishing pole in their boat. Some people could care less about ever putting a fishing pole in their boat. Some people only want to tow skiers. They tow tubers. They tow wakeboarders. These are the things we have to figure out prior to ever letting you even look at a boat. And I want you guys, like I said, when you're buying your first boat, let's make sure you get the right boat the first time. That way we don't end up in a situation of having to get you out of that boat in the future. Let's get you something you can keep for a long time. All right, guys. Let's talk about 2-foot-itis. 2-foot-itis is real. Every one of you that gets on the water will experience it. You're going to ask me, Mike, what's 2-foot-itis? I don't care what size boat you buy. If you buy an 18, 20, 25, you buy a 30. Everybody gets 2-foot-itis. Everyone buys the boat, runs the boat for a short period of time, and goes, man, I wish I got 2 foot bigger. Or, in the case of what I'm personally doing right now, maybe I got too much boat, I need to go 2 foot smaller. 2-foot-itis is a real thing. It's something that everybody will contend with. Don't let the keeping up with the Joneses and the boat that pulls up next to you at the sandbar influence what it is you bought, what you purchased. Let's use your family. Make sure you use your goals on the water to help you get the right boat the first time. If we're going to go and get into boating and we think, hey, I'm going to save 10 grand on the buy because I'm going to buy the 21 over the 23, and then 6 months from now, man, I really wish I'd have got that 23, and you come to trade it in, that 10 grand is going to be real small compared to the amount of money we might lose on the trade then having to buy the 23 anyways. So 2-foot-itis is real, both directions, something to take into consideration, just something to think about when you're making your boat purchase. Let's talk about the biggest cuss word in the industry right now. New versus used / COVID boats. So one of the biggest topics we get asked a lot is, what's the right move? Do I buy new? Do I buy used? The problem with the used market right now, and I absolutely hate this because it's become the excuse for everything in our lives, is COVID boats. A lot of people during COVID bought boats way over MSRP, no money down. Some people put them on 20-year loans. And what we've seen is as the supply chain has reversed and things have gotten more available, cost has come down. We've actually seen boat manufacturers rolling back pricing on some boats. So we have a situation where a lot of times you can buy the new boat cheaper than you can buy the 2020, 2021 model. Couple that with better financing rates on the new boats and getting warranties. A lot of times the new boat just makes more sense than the used. The problem is that when a salesman says something like that, it comes across as, oh, he's just trying to sell me the new one. He's trying to sell me the new one. And that's where, you kind of got to make that claim and do a little research for yourself. There's not a lot of good aftermarket warranties on used boats. So the warranties, when they expire, typically don't exist. Most of your motor manufacturers will only let us extend a warranty if it's still under factory warranty. If that's Yamaha or Mercury, that can be 3 years. If it's Suzuki, 5. So if it's not under warranty anymore, we really don't have a way to extend it without going to the aftermarket. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the aftermarket warranties. that's a whole nother episode that could go on that for hours. So when you start looking at that new versus used, take that into consideration, because there's a lot of boats out there where you can buy the new one, even if it is more, it's marginally more. And then if the interest rate ends up being point or half a point cheaper on the new boat, it might actually end up costing you less money every month. All right, let's talk storage. So one of the big factors in buying a boat, one of the things that we always ask prior to when someone comes in, I want a boat, is what are you going to tow it with? Because that's a big part of the conversation, right? And part of that is, what are we going to tow it with? How are we getting it to the water? There's three main modes of boat storage. One, trailer storage. Great. Hopefully you have room on the side of your house, storage yard somewhere, stuff on those lines. And the trailer gives you mobility. I want to go to the Keys this week. I want to go scalloping next week. I want to fish St. Augustine the weekend after. Great. The trailer gives you that ability. For some people, that's just not in the cards. They don't want to own a truck to tow a boat. They don't want to have to deal with the ramps. I understand that, trust me. So for them, there's two more, okay? We have lift storage, which is where, like, you have a lift behind your house, people that are lucky enough to live on the water, have friends that live on the water and don't own a boat. And of course, up and down the coast here, there's people that rent their lifts behind their house. They don't own a boat anymore. Maybe they're aging, and they make a couple $100 a month renting you a lift. Then, of course, all the way back is the marina. There's marinas all up and down the Space Coast, all the coasts of Florida, where you can bring your boat, and we forklift service the boat in and out. What we have found here is, once people get used to the marina level of service, which is literally you pick up a phone, you make the phone call, hey, I want boat D11 in the water, I'll be down there in an hour. You show up, the boat's already floating, you pull it over to the fuel dock, put your gas in, you go enjoy your day. Once that becomes a thing, typically it's the way it stays. People end up really enjoying that. I also understand that it's a cost added on to the cost of boat ownership, stuff on those lines, and it's something that needs to be factored in. But that is something that people need to think about as they're walking their way towards their boat buying experience, or, whether it be new, used, whatever. We don't just store the boats that we sell here. So, you have to kind of think about that the whole way through. Where am I going to store my boat? How am I going to keep my boat? Is it going to be indoors? Is it going to be outdoors? Do I need to cover my boat? The answer is yes. As the guy that's going to sell it for you, when you're done with it, please keep it covered, keep it clean. And then the other side of it is, if we don't have a trailer access, how do we service the boat? Are you going to bring the boat here to the marina and let the guys, haul it out and do the services here? Do you want a mobile guy to come to your dock? We got some great mobile guys in the area. These are all things that you really need to take and factor into making that boat purchase, and things you really need to think about as you're walking down that line.